Good morning everyone and welcome back. We are in 2024 now, so another year down. Hopefully you all had a good time off with friends and family and good food over the festive season / New Year's. It's an absolute ripper today. We've got a bluebird, not a cloud in the sky. Look at that, isn't it beautiful? It's going to get hot later on though. Up you go. There's actually a couple of cows in here that are sort of showing signs like they might be coming on heat. There's a couple, well, I've seen one getting ridden before and a couple of cows are sniffing around another one. So that's not particularly good. That's not what we want to see. When I got up before, it said on my phone that there were 8 cows in this young herd that were on heat. And that's definitely not what we want to see. 8's an absolutely massive day at this point of time. That's almost 3% of the total herd, which isn't good. I'd like to get a 10 or under 10% empty rate. I was hoping for like 8, but I honestly can't see it happening this year. I just think there's been too many cows that are on. I'll whack them all in like a group in Minder, and then I'll come back and see how many of them actually are in calf. Probably a few of them won't be. They've sort of been like returning every 21 days for the last little wee while, so they probably will be empty and just haven't howled. But those are the cows that probably should go anyway. But there's a couple of other ones in there that make me wonder, so we won't know until scanning, and that is in a month's time, and I'm looking forward to that, just to definitively know which cows have howled and which haven't. But I haven't got the best feeling about mating this year. I don't know, there's just been a lot of cows that have come back around or have howled for like the first month and then returned. Like there's one of these ones that it says is a 70-day return, which I don't know if I believe that, but scanning will let us know. I need to bring the tractor up. There's an old plum tree here, and quite a few of them are ready to be picked, or picked before the birds get them, but they're like right up the top, so they just stand in the bucket and get them. It's actually quite a good light, but straight through there's the maize paddocks. There's 2 of them there, and it looks quite like whitish yellowy at the moment, and that's because they are tasseling, so their cobs are forming at the moment. I've just had another one pop through in that young herd, number 7, and when I let her out before, I actually looked at her because I could see some rub marks or a little bit bleeding on her back, so I'd definitely say she's on. Her last AI was 60 days ago in the start of November, so that's annoying. It's really annoying. I'd definitely say she's on though, so maybe most of them are. That's not good. That's, jeepers, that's almost 10% of that herd on in one day, so yeah. Things aren't looking the best. I just said to Dad, it's a bit odd how we've had 9 cows just pop up like that, especially in the one herd, and then he may have given me the answer why. And that is because it's a little bit hard to see, but over there where the pheasants got into the maize, the cows were on the other side, and 10 of them got in the maize last night, which really isn't good. But they might have been running around, which increased their activity. And that may answer the problem. He did say he's seen 1 getting ridden, so well, it might be 1 or 2 on, but yeah, I don't think the whole lot. But still not good, the cows getting in the maize. He said one of the standards got knocked over and they jumped over the wire, so at least it wasn't the whole lot. Always got to try and find that silver lining. But a couple of videos ago, I showed you we got a new plate cooler, and it's actually making quite a big difference. So at the moment, all the cups are on the cows. I've just put the last one on. The new row is heading in, so this is the moment where probably the most milk is going into there. It will be for just a little bit, and then it should drop off again. But one thing we've certainly noticed is that this pump, because it's run on a float switch, so as the float gets higher, the milk pump gets driven faster and faster. So if there's a heap of milk or the float was right at the top, that pump would be going full bore. What we've noticed is that this pump just sort of idles away while milking. The milk line doesn't really get over where it is now, and it's just been a lot easier on this motor. It hasn't had to ramp up all the time, so that's interesting. And one of the reasons that is because the line for the milk to go into the plate cooler is probably double the size of what it used to be. We're still restricted, like it still comes down to this size going into the vat. We haven't upgraded that, but on the old one, I'm pretty sure coming out of the plate cooler into here, it went smaller and then bigger, so it makes quite a big difference now. I thought I'd pop in on my way home and just check out how this maize is going. Check that out. It's actually got quite a bit of dew on it. I'm getting a bit wet walking through it, but you can see it's got a fair bit of height on it now. That's probably over 1 metre over my head. And what I meant by tasseling is that, I'll see if I can grab it. See this little thing at the top there? It's too high, I can't reach it. It's got all these seeds on it and the wind sort of blows it around and they fall off and they fall down onto the corn cobs, this hair that's at the end, and that's what pollinates it. So every kernel, I'm pretty sure, has one of these bits of hair and you need them to pollinate to sort of grow out. But one thing I am sort of noticing, which isn't very good, is that, see how it's double kerneled up? So there's a cob forming at the top here and a cob forming down the bottom. We'll go to the next plant, which is the same. So another cob there on the next one. So that's single cob, which is what we want. That's what I really want to see. Again, the next one, it's a little bit behind these others, but yeah, cob there, and then there's a cob down the bottom there. Same on that one. Now you may think that having 2 cobs is better than having 1, but the whole reason I changed variety this year was I did need something that was more resistant to northern leaf blight, which made it go all brown and sort of die off early. But also I wanted to only get a plant with 1 big cob. So the varieties I have had in the past have had like 2 small to medium cobs, whereas this year I was going for a plant that had 1 really big one, because 1 big one is better than having 2 sort of medium ones, if that makes sense. It sounds a little bit jumbled, but that's what I was going for. I'm not really sure whether to be worried or concerned. Maybe Maria, when she comes down and has a look at it next time, I'll get her on and we'll ask her. It is looking like a really good crop. Like, I reckon it'll be pushing 3 meters, some of this. It's pretty tall, and I've never side dressed before, so that's all got to come into it. Hopefully we're going to get big yields. And maybe the reason it is cobbing up like this is because it's just been a really good year for it. We've had a lot of heat, we've had a lot of sun, we've also had a lot of moisture. Like, as you can see from behind me, it is very green still. And going into January, February, those are typically our hottest, driest months, and we're still green. So January for us at the moment is looking pretty good. That rain we got at Christmas time definitely helps. There's about 90 mils sitting in there. I reckon there'd be a fraction more. Some of it would have evaporated. In hindsight, I wish I had have topped those couple of paddocks over there, but that's why they call it hindsight. I've been topping for the cows the last couple of days, like I did this last night for them. They're not cleaning it up, as like they're leaving quite a bit behind. You can see down there, that was actually pretty rank. Last time I topped this paddock, I didn't get down the bottom and do it, so they've left quite a bit from yesterday over there. And then that's fresh today, but I don't think they're going to eat much of that. I'm not really too worried. The paddock down the bottom there, this triangle paddock, it was like that over there in the corner, and it's just rotted down, so back into the soil. But yeah, everything's looking pretty good, to be honest. It's definitely nice and green for this time of the year, like I was saying. I can't see any big patches over on top of the hill there where those cows got into. So that's a good thing, but they probably definitely did destroy a few plants. Coming in here the next couple of days, I'll probably split it in half, but this is the sort of stuff that I'm topping. It's a little bit weedy. Next season it probably does need like a dock spray just to sort of take care of those. Other than that, it's not too bad, but just sort of take all the heads off. Because it is so green at the moment, and I know things can dry out. If we get the heat and the sun, I don't think rain's on the forecast for the next sort of 10 days. Like, it can sort of turn, but I think we'll be pretty good for January. So going into February, we could be pretty dry, but I've got the sort of feed available, and that's why I'm shooting around at the moment, just topping everything. So if we do get another shower at some point in the next couple of weeks, everything's going to sort of come back really nice and keep things ticking along. I've got the feed there for if we need it. I haven't got into any of the bales. There's still quite a bit of maize in the pit, so we are sitting in good position for for the new year. Things can change, but at the moment everything's looking all right. Because we got that rain over Christmas, it's really sort of set us up, so we can be pretty dry like I was saying, but I think January's going to be pretty good for us. I don't think we're going to sort of dry out. If we do get some nice hot days and it doesn't look like there's rain on the forecast, yeah, we can dry out, but we should be pretty sweet for the next couple of weeks. I haven't touched any of these bales yet, so I've got all of those there. I've got some maize in the stack over there still, or quite a bit. I'm sort of trying to hold back and save that for February, as if it is pretty dry in February, then I'll have the feed there. Plus I've got that hectare of early maize coming off too, so I have got options. I've also got this paddock here, which I'm going to make for silage. I think I've really only got this one, and the reason being is because I wanted to top it before the cows went in here, but I went away on holiday, it didn't get done, and now it's a little bit long. I think if I top it in front of the cows, they're just going to waste too much, so I think I might just bale it. I've also kind of got this one, but I just don't think there's a lot in here. Like, it looks like there's a little bit, but once you cut it, yeah, it'd end up being not much. Maybe I could just do it and get, I don't know, 10 or 15 bales, and it's quite handy because the stack's right there, so I can just shoot around with the tractor and stack them away real easy. Don't have to cart them anywhere. I've pushed them out. It's a bit of a long rotation during the day. They're on like probably about a 30-day plus at the moment, so I probably can take that one out. And yeah, even if it was real light, just a couple of bales probably wouldn't hurt. At least it'll tidy it up. I've got other paddocks which the cows can go in, so yeah, I don't know. I need to think about it. I probably need to ring Finches up soon and book it in though, because it would be nice to get it off, and then if we did get rain later on, and give it a chance to freshen up. Another thing I've sort of been thinking about quite recently is that I think we're going to have quite a bit of maize coming in, and as you've seen from before, I think we're going to have a good crop. So what I usually plan to do is I fit most of it in the pit over there by the sheds, and then I put the overflow into this little pit. This little pit's a little bit annoying. Like, it'd be good if it was a bit bigger. It does seem fairly decent, and it is, like, it does work. If it was a little bit higher, it'd be good. But I think this year, and I always say this, but I think we're going to have an overflow, so I don't think I'm going to be able to fit it all in here and over there. We have grown another hectare, so we're up to, I think, planted 9.3 hectares, take away some of the damage, and then that early stuff, which it might only come off a couple of weeks early, so I'm not going to feed it all out in that time. So yeah, I'm going to have a bit of an overflow, I'm thinking. I'd really like to do something here, like whether take the walls out, we could still probably use the floor and just make it higher. Like, if we could get more in here, that would be such a help. It's nice and handy to the pad over there. But in the meantime, this sort of needs fixing. I'm not quite sure how we would go about it. I'll probably have to call someone that knows what they're doing about the concrete. It might need a whole new back wall. It would be kind of good if we could put a bigger one in too, like go up another foot and seal it properly. Like, that's the top of the other concrete, so I mean that's only 3 to 4 inches, but it'd be good if we could sort of match it up, or even go to the top of that post. Just another foot would certainly help. And we always lose a bit of maize in the back here because of this, but it would be quite nice to tidy it up. I'm guessing the easiest thing to do would just be whack new walls in the back here, which probably wouldn't be too bad, but I'd have to dig out all the bank and then scoop it back in afterwards. I'm not sure. I do know somebody that has got a concrete business, so I might give them a call and they might come out and have a little look, and it might be good talking to sort of get a best option for it. Ideally, probably just leave it this year and, I don't know, get a price on doing a new bunker at some point. Like, I think we need one. I think it's worth it. We could put it in a bun stack, like the whole lot in a bun stack. Just, you always lose a little bit more, and these concrete bunkers are so handy. Like, we do have the base, which I think we could keep, but it'd be nice to go just maybe a little bit wider too. It is quite narrow for the stack tractor. I don't know, it's something that probably needs looking at in the near future, although I do want to get another mower. I do want to extend the pit, so there's a couple of other things on it, or on the agenda, that are probably more pressing than this, but I don't know, maybe we'll just have a look at the end, see what people think, and then go from there. Fast forward a couple of hours, I didn't really have a very exciting day, so I didn't really film it, but I did spray a couple of drains that needed doing. Cows are on their way to the feed pad, they'll be happy. While we're on the subject of maize, I'd give you a bit of an update on the maize situation. So along the side here, there's 10 of these panels, and what I usually do is work on 1 panel per month. So up to there is the 6th one, so we've started on the 7th. And what I've done is I was planning on saving 2 for January and 2 for February, and then at the end of February the other maize should be coming off, so it should be sweet. And because there is a little bit of feed around, I might just pull the maize back just a little bit and conserve a little bit more so I can feed more in February. And I'm thinking February might be dry now, like looking at it, surely we're going to get a dry month at some point, which will most likely be February. I'll save a little bit more for then so I can sort of feed a little bit more. I do also measure it up the top here. These yellow lines that are on this cover are actually quite good for stepping things out, and I had stepped this out. That sandbag there was where the point of the start of February would be, so I didn't want to go past there. But like I was saying, I might shorten it up, so maybe if I aim for that sandbag, which is definitely achievable, that should work out pretty good. And I usually go through about a panel a month, maybe just a little bit over. So I was sort of hoping to be there at the start of January, although it is the 4th, but I've probably used a little bit more than I was hoping, but there's still heaps left. Come on, watch out. Back up, you, come on. Come on. One of the other things I was hoping to talk about today too was around those bulls and the cull cows I sent. I was going to give you a price for them. A few people asked about it, but I haven't got the kill sheets have come back, but the prices haven't. I think it's 2 weeks after they're sent that we get paid. So when that does come back, I will chuck it up here on a video and you can see what we got paid for those cows and bulls. They have actually tidied their break up from today. Not too bad. Like, there's not a lot that they've left here. That flat piece down the bottom though, they barely even touched it, so that'll just turn to hay and a bit of a waste, but it was pretty rank down there anyway, so it's good to get it topped and it'll just rot away. Like I was saying, they also didn't really touch around, sort of around here, so the grass must be a little bit rank there, whereas sort of down the bottom there they sort of cleaned that up. So it's funny in little places that they don't really touch or avoid, but yeah, it'll come back nice if we do get a bit of rain. This will come back really nice now. When you do cut the grass in front of them, they do drink a lot of water. Obviously it dries down a little bit and they get really thirsty. Maybe I should have given them 3 days in here. I definitely don't think they're going to clean all this up tonight, but maybe I'll be surprised. What I do need to do though, in the next week I'm planning to do it, is clean that pile of hedge clippings up. There's actually not that much there, so just clean that up and push that dirt back over the hole there. And there's also one just over the hill there which we need to burn. I topped this today, and where the hedge used to be along here, like you can sort of see it, I pulled the posts out. There was a gate in here, I pulled them out yesterday, tidied that up. But it's real rough through here and I don't really want to work this whole paddock up. So I was thinking maybe just power harrow, like a couple of strips either side of it and sort of replant it. Might fix up most of it, maybe put a bit of soil in there because there's a little bit of a hole. But yeah, just power harrow down to the bottom there, which might solve that and sort of smooth it up a little bit. But it's really rough when you drive over it in the tractor. There was another hedge running down there too, so maybe do the same there just to tidy this paddock up. Young herds just come off the chicory. They're 3 days onto their second rotation of it. The easiest thing to do would probably be put this paddock in maize, like disc it, work it up, level it out, put it back in grass and leave it. But there's a sort of a reason why I don't really want to do it. I don't really like turning over the soil, and also it's really close to the cow shed up there, which is handy in the mornings because the cows only have to walk a short distance. So I don't really want to put it in maize. And that's why I was just thinking maybe power harrow and I might get away with it. Something to consider. It's also a little bit hilly down the bottom there, and we couldn't get maize planted down there, so it's sort of a waste of the bottom bit. But I guess could fence it somehow and the cows could get around there, but I don't know, it's just, yeah, just thinking. Ideas. So I actually watched something quite interesting the other day, and that was regarding our milk price. So every sort of 2 to 3 weeks there's an auction, an international auction where we sell our products on, and most of the time it's bought up by sort of China. But we've actually got a free trade agreement with China. It was put in like 20 years ago maybe? Was it that long ago? I'm not quite sure. I don't know all the intricate details about it. And up until a couple of days ago there were tariffs on milk powder and skim milk powder, but they have just been taken off. We did have an auction a couple of days ago, and it was a positive one. I think on a net it was like 1.3 or 1.5% up, which is good. We want to see it going up. But the whole milk powder, which is the sort of more important sales item on it, was like 2.5% up. So that is good. Regarding that trade tariffs, I guess as they've been taken off, I guess that's good for us in the long term. I don't know if we'll see it in the short term, but it is looking likely, and I don't know too much about it. Maybe someone out there with a bit more knowledge than I will might be able to shed a bit of light on it, but it's looking good, and hopefully we will see another rise in our milk price in the next, I don't know, couple of months. Like if we get another couple of positive auctions, especially around that whole milk powder, then we might see a rise, which will be welcomed. If we could get $8, like that'd be awesome. I think we're sitting at $7.75 at the moment, or $7.50. I think it went up to $7.75. I haven't actually checked it, but if we get to $8, that would certainly help things along. Since we're into a new year now though, I thought I'd let you know how our season is going to date. So for season wise, we are up in milk solids 5%, which is good. Last year was our record year, so it's a pretty good year to reference back to. For January, we're like bang on par, the same as last year, and I think we will get ahead, hopefully. Like the cows have crashed a little bit. It's due to like the heat and also the rain. Because of that rain, it turned the grass a bit mushy, and the cows sort of lost the value on the grass. So it is drying out. The grass dry matter percentage will be going back up again. So I think the cows will start going up. This morning I think they milked a lot better than they have over the last couple of days. So if we can get ahead in January, that'd be awesome. Like I was saying earlier on, we've got the feed ahead of us for February, so I'm not too worried, and we're sitting in a good spot. Sow count wise, we're also doing better. I think I'm 30,000 ahead season to date, so I'm sitting at about 103, which is good. So that is a big goal. I want to get over that 90%, under 150 for the season, and at the moment it's like 93%. So the sow count normally starts going up now, but we're pretty low at the moment. So I am pretty happy about that. Had a few cases of mastitis over the last couple of weeks, and to be honest, there've been cows that have had it earlier on in the season, and they've sort of just come back with it. So they will be cull cows going forward. A couple of them actually most of them I haven't been too worried about, because they have sort of been cull cows. They haven't been good cows that have got it. So it's good in that retrospect. But that'll pretty much do it for this video, guys. A little bit of a catch up. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and welcome to 2024. I'm going to go back for a swim because it is actually pretty warm still. So give it a thumbs up, that'd be awesome, and see you next time.